Hi everyone, it's Sarah or LavilyDay here with another video. You might remember that at the beginning of the year I made a long Furby. Well, today was the day that I made one for my dolls. As you can see, it turned out quite well if I do say so myself. Stick around and I'll show you how I did it. The Furby that we're going to use as a base is one of the old McDonald's toy keychains. I was lucky enough to find a bunch for sale, and as a result I have quite the selection. The fur I'm going to use is left over from when I made Vogue. That's the name of my long Furby, in case you're unaware. I don't think I'll use the black fur though, since it'll be too long. I have this purple fleece that will work nicely as a contrasting belly stripe, and some white fur for the hair and tail tufts. The other supplies I used are polyfill, fabric glue, and of course needles and thread. When selecting a Furby to work with, I looked for one that had minimal damage to the paint on its eyes and beak. Alternatively, I could have opted to repaint these areas, but I decided against it since I was feeling particularly lazy. This green guy has a voice box thing. Surprisingly, it still works, although I highly doubt this is the sound it's meant to make. The first step is to remove the feet. Using a seam ripper, I carefully unpick the stitching until the little peats are free. Once the feet are removed, I cut the rest of the bottom off and remove the stuffing. The back of the faceplate is secured with some triangular screws. I tried to loose them with the screwdrivers I had around, but to no avail. It's not the end of the world though, I have another plan. I cut around the faceplate, leaving about ½ centimetre of material around the edge, and put everything else to the side. I happen to have a strip of fur already cut from when I made Vogue. I'm pretty sure it was trimmed off from his belly fur. It seems to be the right size too, so I'll take advantage of that. For anyone curious, it's about 50 by 10 centimetres. For the purple belly stripe, I eyeballed a thin strip that matched the length of the fur. Now that I have the pieces ready, I start to think about how to form the head. I end up bringing back the discarded body and use it to trace the shape onto the end of the fur. I trace a similar shape onto another piece of fur that will become the front of the head. A quick alignment check with all of the pieces and it's looking pretty good. Which means it's time to start sewing things together. Putting the fluffy sides together, I hand sew around the edge. Once I'm done with that piece, I do the same for the belly stripe. It's worth mentioning that my hand stitching was very inconsistent and definitely nothing fancy. It just goes to show that you don't need to be a master sewer to do this craft. I turn the Furby sock right way round and start cutting a space for the faceplate. I trim, then check, then trim, then check, then trim, then check, and well, you get the idea. Once I'm happy with the fit, I grab my fabric glue and get to securing the sock to the faceplate. I apply the glue to the material that I left around the faceplate. It's a little messy and I have to be careful not to get the fur caught up in the glue, but it's relatively straightforward. Now that it's secure, it's time to fill it with stuffing. I make an effort not to use too much since I want the finished product to be poseable and not super stiff. It's about time I give this little fur boy some ears. I decide to reuse the original ears from the keychain. I cut them off, leaving some of the original body material on the end. This'll come in handy later. I carefully cut slits on each side of the head where the ears will go. To make the ears better match the new body, I glue them onto some of the body fur. Then I trim around the ear as closely as possible. By the way, when you're cutting fur, it's really important to make very short, shallow cuts with your scissors so that you don't accidentally trim the fur on the other side. I insert the ears into the slits on the head and they look pretty good. Now, I could sew them in, but I really couldn't be bothered, so fabric glue it is. I wasn't kidding earlier when I said I was feeling particularly lazy with this craft. We're almost done. I cut a small circle of long white fur for the tuft on the head. Before gluing it down, I cut the fur on the top of the head so it has a better area to stick to. There's only one thing left to do, and that's to attach the feet and butt. I roughly sketch a circle, tack on the feet, and then hand stitch the circle over top. My camera died before I was able to glue on the tail fluff, but I did it in the exact same way I attached the head tuft. And here is Bee with the finished Furby. I'm really happy with how they turned out and think they look super cute. I know Furbies aren't everyone's cup of tea, so if you made it this far in the video, thank you. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below telling me what you think. If you're not already subscribed, I'd love it if you joined me here. I upload a new video every weekend. And if by some chance you're not sick of me yet, come visit me on Twitch. If you're watching this video soon after it comes out, chances are I'm live right now. Thank you so much for watching, it has been Lavily, and I'll catch you in another video sometime soon.